Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. Nvidia had earnings yesterday, had this nice pop just above the $203 level, and now it's coming back in. So here are some key levels to watch as far as support and or resistance. If we get another surge to the upside, Nvidia is going to rip higher and take out all-time highs. If the support level fails, not only is Nvidia going, but I think the rest of the market is going down as well. Let's go ahead and jump into some charts. The first one I like to go over, as always, is ORCL. So Oracle, my first shortable level is this gap in the charts, 156.54. This is the really aggressive level. I like how Oracle does a really good job of respecting support and resistance levels. On a 15-minute closing basis above 156.54, I would stop out of this level and then wait for this double top right here around 160 bucks. On the downside, we did have this support level at 142.83 that it did pierce, got rejected below it. So if we flush through that area, I'm picking up Oracle at 135.25. And you know, I really like Oracle for a swing trade. So this is a key level of support and resistance that that need to hold, or price action is going to continue in the direction of the support or resistance level. LITE had this beautiful topping tail. I love to play topping tails on 50% Fibonacci retracements. If price action gets up to $738.87, this is the 50% retracement of this pretty major topping tail. This is where I'm likely to start a shortable level today, knowing that I've got additional resistance right about $752.99. And then on a daily closing basis, I would stop out of this at $765 today. Dollar cost average all the way up. I did mention that I would look to possibly enter it. Could be a good level at about $750. If you got into that level, dollar cost averaging every $7, you would have taken a pretty sizable gain on LITE. This could be the signal that a reversal is coming. Like I had mentioned on LITE, I still think there's a significant downside move. Eventually, we're going to head all the way back down to $504.42. All right, let's go ahead and go into the S&P 500. It's actually getting a little bit of a bid today, I think, because Nvidia is slightly positive. Today, my resistance level is $697.11, knowing that I could dollar cost average all the way up to $700.17. This would be my max upside for the markets on the S&P 500. Once it gets up into this level, I would start exiting my long positions, just knowing that once the S&P 500 starts to roll over, then you should see the rest of the markets start to roll over as well. The QQQ pushing up a little bit. I was mentioning yesterday, $616.52 is that first resistance level on the QQQ. Again, it's pushing through that level now. It's basically given way for all of these sellers or these buyers who are stuck in this red bar candle to start exiting the trade as it continues to push up. For me, that 616 level and 52 cents is off the table. For me, I would look to short this at $628.30. This is the high end of this red bar candle. So that is where I'd likely short this thing. Nvidia, I had mentioned it got up to just above $203. Actually had a pretty sizable rollover. We have actually recaptured this upswing trend line, and we've confirmed above it. So now we've recaptured this uptrend, and so we could push higher. Once we get above 199.05, then this next level of resistance is 203.97, and this is where my shortable level is today. And I would dollar cost average every $2 higher, knowing that I've got this $206.88 level as additional resistance. Once it pushes through there, it's going to easily hit this $212.28. And then you're starting to look at new all-time highs and a push up to about 225 bucks. It has a lot of work to do to get to those points. There are still a lot of buyers who are trapped inside of this, who are looking to take their exits once price action gets close to their break even. And so that could be pushing them, continually pushing the markets down. We're still monitoring that upswing trend line. Because we're above it and confirmed, that means that support level is going to be, or that upswing trend line will be support Once it breaks, though, the downtrend will continue and price action would start to push lower. So we're just eyeing the probabilities on this upsloping trend line. For solar, I had mentioned $198.87 as major pivot in the charts. And then all of a sudden you did pierce it, got down to 196 and then it ripped to the upside. So congratulations if you got into First Solar yesterday off of that major support level. That was a great trade opportunity. And same with GDDY. GoDaddy got to the first level and then actually hit the second gap in the charts at $73.47 and now is trading at $80. So from this low right here, even if you dollar cost averaged into it, you would have at least an average gain of about 5 to 6%. So that is a great move. I love these charts that go back to 2023, major gaps in these charts. Excellent opportunity to take advantage of long trades. ARRY had earnings today or yesterday, and it's actually dropping significantly. What I like about ARRY is it's basically inside of this parallel channel. So what I'd be looking at today is this retest of this upsloping parallel channel. So if you can get back down into around, let's say the the $7.81 level, because this is an upsloping parallel channel, you are likely to get a ton of support in that area, as well as this pivot low area right here and all this price consolidation. Not only that, but you've got this high pivot point for additional support. So look for a further drop in ARRY after a 22% decrease. $7.81 is that level. The nice thing about an upsloping parallel channel or an upsloping trend line is it gives you an exact entry price. If it starts closing below this upsloping parallel channel or the underside of it on a 15-minute closing basis, just go ahead and stop out and look for additional support. Your next level of support is going to be right here at about $6.63. And this is where I'd start looking to possibly pick this up for more of a swing trade, knowing that ARRY can actually rip to the upside. I do anticipate a bounce off $7.81 though. C3AI had some really negative earnings yesterday. I think it actually beat on both, but C3AI actually dropped significantly. It got as low as $7.60 in the post market yesterday off of the back of the earnings. This is an area of support at $7.60. This is where I'd likely pick this up for a day trade. I would go really, really small on something like this, knowing that this isn't a key technical level. This is only the low pivot point. Now, as you can see, C3AI is actually below its all-time lows. This gets tricky when you get stocks that are beaten up and then they drop further than their all-time lows. $7.61 or 60 cents is that level. But if it closes below that on a 15-minute closing basis, I would stop out and look for a $7 pierce on the chart of C3AI. SanDisk was pushing quite significantly higher in the pre-market. I think has got as high as $681. I am looking to short SanDisk at $695.51. I'm still eyeing this gap in the charts that if price action can push up again, that is where I'm looking to take a short, knowing that I've got this additional resistance at this double top at $725.50. So these are my resistance levels. Those of you who are a little bit less aggressive than I am, $725.50 would be your entry price, knowing that you could stop out on a daily closing basis or a 15-minute closing basis, whatever your risk tolerance is. TTD had some pretty negative earnings as well. It did have a decent bounce. What I'm looking for is a pierce of $20 today on the trading room. $19.97 is going to be a ton of support for TTD. I did get below that on the earnings report. However, look at how beaten up the trade desk is. So let me go ahead and remove some of these lines. Trade desk is from its all-time highs at $140 is now trading 86% lower than the all-time highs. So for a day trade, this is looking like a prime opportunity. And then actually for a swing trade as well, knowing that it could head all the way down to this gap in the charts at $16.04. That is a 20% drop from the $20 whole round number. However, I would dollar cost average every 50 cents or so, knowing that the trade desk can continue to move And so that's where I would start picking this up, $19.97. NVO, somebody asked, is NVO a good support level right now? And I do think it is in a great support level. But for me, I'm eyeing this gap in the charts right here that goes back to the lows of this gap in the charts from the 2021. So for me, $37.10 is still the level that I'm eyeing NVO for a long play. So thank you so much for joining me this morning at 8:45. Drew Dosick is going to be going live tomorrow at 8:45. You guys don't want to miss it. His ability to draw trend lines in the charts is really unparalleled, and you guys can get additional support and or resistance levels based on his levels as well. So I'm telling you, you guys don't want to miss that. Gareth Holloway is going to be going live in less than 4 minutes, talking about the potential reversal on Nvidia could bring the rest of the markets down if Nvidia continues to or fails to catch that bid to the upside. So thank you so much. Again, if you guys are getting something out of this, please make sure you're liking, you're following, subscribing, and sharing with those friends so that way they can get the same market information that you're getting. And we'll see you guys next time in the charts. You guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.